Welcome to another set of tutorials from Mathematica. Today what we're going to cover is chain rule, how to solve first order differential equation, how to solve second order differential equation. So to start off with, we will try to understand what chain rule is, how do we do it. So for example, we have an equation y is equal to x squared. So if I need to find dy by dx, all right, dy by dx equals, how do we differentiate the y term? So it's going to be d, you're calling that equation y, comma, with respect to x. So if you press enter, I'm going to get some issue with it. It's saying like dy by dx is protected. So make sure you don't put this division sign over there, so you get an answer more clear. So y is equal to x squared is your output 16, the value over here, that is this one, and dy by dx is 2x. So if I want to differentiate it further, which is d squared y by dx square, all right, equals, so I want to differentiate it further, so I'm going to do a d with respect to y. So if I put x, it's only differentiating once. If I put comma x again, it's differentiating twice. So what is the answer? I'm getting it as 2. So if I do further differentiation, your answer is going to be 0. For example, d3y by dx cubed, all right, is gonna be capital D. I just want to make a correction over here. You shouldn't put this division sign. That is why you're getting an error over there. All right, and then I'm just gonna edit it over here to no need of. So y comma x comma x comma x, and you put your answer's output is 0. So this is what I mean by chain rule. So basically it's you assign y is equal to x squared, then you differentiate it once, you get 2x, and then when you differentiate it twice, you get 2, and when you differentiate it thrice, you get 0. The above expression is basically a simple example on how a chain rule works. So let's make it a little bit more interesting by giving the y value equal to an x variable dependent on time, the whole square. All right, so you click enter. I want to differentiate. What happens if I differentiate with respect to dy by dx? What happens? We can just take a look at it. So it's going to be capital D, open the square brackets, y comma with respect to x. So my answer is going to be 0. Since x is dependent on time, let's say dy by dt is equal to capital D, open the square brackets, y, I want to differentiate with respect to t, and you close the square brackets. So the answer is 2xt into x dash t. What is this x dash? I mean over here, it's basically, it means x dash in Mathematica. It kind of says the differential. So it's d x dash t can also be said as dx by dt. So that's the explanation for that. And then, for example, let me try to apply the chain rule further. So I want to find d squared y by dt squared, which is d, and then I'm going to use y comma t. You close the square brackets, oops, and then you press enter. So this one is for dy by dt, and this one is for d squared y by dt squared. So I hope you understood what is the chain rule and how it works. If you want, you can even find d3y by dt cube. That is going to be more simple, just you have to add more t's to it. So y comma t comma t comma t. You close the square brackets, enter, you get, oh, oops, I used division sign in between. So You see, this is d squared y by dt squared, and this is d3y by dt cubed. So let me cover one more problem, and I want you all to try this particular equation. Y is equal to xt, the whole square, plus xt, the whole cube. So try this out, pause the video, try this out by yourself and see. Find till d3y by dt cube. So I believe you guys got the answer. So I just want to show it out, show this to you. So dy by dt is equal to capital D y of t. Just see if your answers is correct. That's what you're getting. Oops, I'm just going to put a semicolon there. Alright, so I don't want that answer to repeat. And then I want d square y dt square equal to d comma square brackets open, then y comma t. Alright, and then I have d3y dt cube equals differential of y comma t comma t comma t. And then I'm closing the square brackets. So there you have. So this is our first y variable. Then you have your dy by dt. Then you have your d squared y by dt squared. And then you have your d3y by dt cube. So this is your final answer. Please cross-check with your answers and make sure it's correct. If not, again, go back from the beginning of the tutorial and try to learn it. So I hope you all understood this part of chain rule. So let's move on to the next on how to solve the differential equations. For solving the first order differential equation or the second order differential equation, we have to use a function called dsolve. So to get an idea about that, we'll go to the palettes, go to the basic math assistant. You go to the calculus commands. So yeah, I think we are familiar with these commands in this tab, and this is what I'm talking about: dsolve. So you have a LHS equal to RHS, then you have the function and the variable. So let's try this out. So for example, we have an equation called dy by dx. Okay, I'm not going to put the by or else I would get an error. So equal to 2x plus 5. So this is a problem that I want to solve. I'm putting a semicolon because I don't want this output to be displayed. So in this, we're going to use the dsolve function. So how do we use it? What is the LHS or the left-hand side? Your left-hand side is dy by dx, which can also be written as y dash, it's dependent on x, yeah, and RHS is 2x plus 5. So what is your function here? So your function is, what you want to get is y of x, and you want it with respect to x, yeah. So basically, how do we solve a differential equation? Is you do the integration, and that's how you solve it. So this command is pretty much easier, and all I have to do is shift enter, and I get the answer. So your answer is y of x equal to 5x plus x squared plus a constant. So whenever you do an integration, there's always a constant at the end, other than when you're doing a definite integrals, there's no constant. But whenever you're doing an indefinite integral, there is going to be a constant at the end. Please do not forget that. So just to clarify some points over here, y dash of x means dy by dx. So please make sure in that. So over here we are putting a double equal sign just because that's the command. So please follow that. If at any time you have any doubts, go to the palette, basic math assistant, go to the calculus commands and come to desolve, and you have that equation right there. So this is how you get your the answers. So where y of x is the dependent variable and x is the independent variable. So I hope you understand that. Let's try to solve some problems and get a hang of it, and then we'll move on to the second order equation. So let's solve another equation. So I'm going to give you an example. Dy by dx equal to your equation is going to be, I'm just going to put a numerator of 2y plus 5, and your denominator is going to be x plus 2. Alright, so how do we solve this? So to solve this, again, I'm just using the desolve function over here. So your LHS is basically y dash of x, and your RHS is going to be the whole thing. I'm just going to copy it, but over here it's with respect to x. I mean, please make sure always you do that. All the y terms is dependent on x, and I believe that's it. And your variable, your function is y of x, and it's with respect to x. And you solve that equation, you get 5 by 2 plus 2 plus x, the whole square, and a constant. So I hope you understood this, and let's try another problem where you're going to try to solve this. Dy by dx equal to, you have denominator and numerator, 2x plus y by y minus x. So pause the video, try to solve it by yourself. So how you do is, I'm just going to use desolve. LHS is going to be y dash of x, and your RHS is going to be, okay, this, and then I have some editing to do, y of x, and then here y of x, and the function is y of x, and I want the variable is going to be integrated with is of x, and this is my equation. So please cross-check with this and see if you're getting the same answer. If not, again, go back and try to solve it again. Find out what the errors are. Moving on to second order differential equations. So it's pretty much the same as of using the desolve function. So let's try it. This is one problem. I'm just going to put in d square y by dx square, right, plus 2 dy by dx minus 8y equal to 0. So it's pretty simple. All I'm going to use is the desolve function. So what is your LHS? Your LHS is basically the left hand side. So in your left hand side you have y double dash of x. Why do I put dash double dash over here? See, if it is y dash x, means it's dy by dx. If it is y double dash x, it means d square y by dx square. If it is y 3 dashes x, then it is d3y by dx cubed. So please don't get confused. Don't forget, if you miss one dash, it gives you a totally different answer. So y double dash x plus 2 y dash x minus, so for y, you write 8 into y of x. So all the y is dependent on x. And then your RHS is 0. Your function, what the answer you want is y of x. And then it should be integrated with respect to x. So I shift enter, and this is my answer. Y of x equals e raised to minus 4x constant plus e raised to 2x constant. So this is your answer for the first problem. So I believe it's pretty much the same for all the rest of the problems. So I want you all to try it by yourself. So the next problem is d squared y by dx squared plus 2y 2dy by dx minus 8y equal 6 cos x. So pause the video, try to solve by yourself. So in this one, it's pretty much the same. You put y double dash x plus 2y dash x minus 8y y of x equal, okay, equal is already there, and your RHS is now 0. This time it's 6 cos x. So 6 into capital COS, you open your square bracket x. Make sure you don't miss out the capital C in a trigonometric function, and you don't miss to write your square brackets here. And then your function is y of x, and you want to integrate with respect to x. You click the answer. So this is your answer. Yeah. And let's move on. Let's try out one more problem and see how it works. D squared y by dx squared plus y equals 2 cos x minus 2 sin x. Alright. And then, so pause the video, try to solve it by yourself. So it's simple. I use the desolve function. I'm going to use y double dash x plus y of x double equals to 2 cos of x minus 2 sine of x. Yeah, make sure your trigonometric functions is correct. That's where most of us make a mistake. And over here, make sure it's just y. That's why it is y of x. Please don't by mistake also put a y dash, because you will get a totally different answer. And then y of x, and your variable is with respect to x. All right. So, oops, I don't want this answer. So you kind of get a very long answer. There is 2 ways you can do. You can try to solve it, you can simplify it, or just leave it as it is. I will try to simplify it further. Simplify. I'm gonna copy this whole equation up to here. All right. Let's copy the whole thing. Let's see how it works. And then I close it, shift enter. So it's pretty much simply answer what you get over here. So I hope you understood something from this tutorial. Let's look through some common errors. While we use the desolve functions. So if suppose we use desolve y of y dash x, but this is just a random example that I'm giving. 2x plus 5 comma y of x comma x. So if I press enter, shift enter, I'm not getting any output. Or if suppose I correct it to D capital S over here, and again I do it, I'm still not getting an output. If I put capital D and capital S, and then I try to press shift enter, I get an output. So a common mistake is, instead of using capital D, capital S, desolve, if in any case we miss the caps that is needed in desolve, we can tend to get an error. So please make sure that while you're doing this, you use capital D, capital S for desolve. And second is, if you use a common error is if you use curly brackets. For example, you use desolve. Over here, I use a curly brackets, y of dash of x equal to x plus 5, y of x, comma x, close the brackets. Alright, and if I press click enter, I still have some sort of an issue. I'm not getting an answer. I press click enter, shift enter, I'm still getting a wrong answer. So basically, if you get these kind of error, go back, try to figure it out, correct the error, and now, oh okay, I'm not getting it because I missed out an x. There you go, you get the answer. So the next mistake is basically forgetting to use brackets instead, forgetting to use the square brackets. And the third error I would kind of point out is, if for example your equation is dy by dx equal to 2x plus 5, and you are using desolve, instead of y dash x, if you put y of x, or if you put y double dash x equal 2x plus 5 comma y of x comma x, I would get a totally different answer. I would so if I put this y single dash, I would be getting a different answer. So make sure you put the correct, if it is dy by dx, it should be only one dash. If it is d square y, d square y by dx square, make sure it is double dash over here. So that is a one common error. So another common error that we can come across is when, for example, by y and you click enter, and the function y appears with no arguments. So basically, y is dependent on x. So if you miss out the square bracket x over here, your whole answer can tend to be wrong. And then, so when you press shift enter, the output is totally different. There's no error, and this is your answer. So the next common error is, in an equation, instead of using y double dash x or y dash x or y of x, if we use y double dash or y dash or y and forget to input the variable with respect to which we are differentiating or integrating, will lead to an error. So these are the common mistakes that we can all come across, and please try to work it out, try different errors and try to see how to solve it, and that's how you learn it. So I believe this tutorial have been helpful to you all, so stay tuned.